Greetings. Wichakamot, Wikoikapan board. Today is November 25th, 2025. We are a few days away from Thanksgiving. I know every one of us is going to have reflection. Walk or being a kind of late, being a kind of chiadikaden benelli late. I know it's the middle of the week. It's Tuesday. So I don't expect anybody to be available. And especially at this time, people are at work. But I know that being an away like you are, this message is going to my people in North America, the United States, in Canada, and it can also apply to those in Australia. This message is coming from my heart. My name is Daniel Lake Lingo, and I'll speak mainly in English because what I'm discussing today has to do with our way of life here in North America. And I'm going to play a song on the background a little bit because we need to, just gonna wait for a few. This song is a song of worship. It talk about the might of God. So please welcome. I can see 5 people now with the Lord. Daniel Lake. To Banjam today, the topic Banjam today is PIDA, North America. Pirwood, White Ben, Koi Louis. But there is not much that is left for tomorrow. So are we protected? Is your family protected if something were to happen to you today? That is what I'm going to talk about. I hope you take time to listen to this message. I know that we don't rely on other people's knowledge. We rely on our own strength and our own way of understanding life. But I come to realize that there is something that is missing in that element of strength. In North America, success comes when you take a little piece from this person and a little piece from the other person and you add it to your own. Don't just make life by your own without taking a little from the other person. So the question that I have on the screen there is the main topic of our discussion today. What will happen to you? What will happen to your family if you cannot work anymore? I know in our culture, we don't like to talk about bad things. We don't like to talk about sickness. We don't like to talk about death. We just say, and truly, God has been good. God has taken good care of many of us. But time has gone. Many of us have been working since we were little, since we were young. At a very tender age, for those lost boys who made it to Ethiopia and all throughout, and now they are in North America, they're fathers and head of the families, and they're providing day in, day out, year in, year out. But the scary part is there's never enough, not saving. Some of you may have managed to save a little, but is that saving enough for 3 months if you were not to work today? If you were to get injured or get sick, would that saving keep your family sheltered, provided for a month, 6 months, a year? And then what? We have witnessed across America, and I believe in other communities like Canada and Australia, where if a breadwinner dies or gets sick, get injured, get disabled, everything stops. And for those who passed in our community amidst us for the last few years, it is us, the living one, who come together to collect a little money to put the body away. But what happened to the family is something that we don't follow through. What happened to those children, those relatives who were depending on these persons? So like I said a few weeks ago, or a week ago in Iowa, we need to talk about financial literacy. We need to talk about emergency planning, emergency saving. We need to talk about debt management. We need to talk about assets accumulation and acquisition. We need to talk about proper protection, which is life insurance. I know these things, when we think of them, they are inconvenient. They are bills, especially life insurance is a bill that we cannot afford. But if I were to ask you, how many bills that you have, that you pay every month, would turn around and provide for your family if worse does come? Just let that sink in a little bit. How many bills? You pay your auto loan. Yes, when your car goes down or you hit somebody's car, your vehicle will be replaced. You pay your premium for TV, your sport channel. You pay your telephone bill. You pay every bill. But there's this one bill that you are putting aside, you are rejecting. You are saying we cannot afford it. But I bet you if you were to sit down with a financial advisor and review your financial inflow, your cash flow, you'll be able to find a way to accommodate a minimum coverage of life insurance. Some of you have it through work as a group life insurance, but is that enough? When was the last time you sat down with a financial advisor to go over your finances to see? Maybe you have subscriptions that are outdated that you don't really need. When was the last time you sat down with somebody to review your finances? I think it comes back down to our way of doing things. We just bulldoze through life and say, I get it, or I don't have time to look at that. So my appeal is to the women of my community, the community of Lost Boys. My message is to you, because many of you are younger than us, and many of you are mothers. If something were to happen to one of us, you are the one who is going to shoulder the responsibility. Scientifically and statistically, even a man and a woman who are of the same age, it has been observed over time that a man will pass first, and the mother is always the one left with the family, a wife. If I were to ask you, when was the last time you have seen a widow, a white widow? They are there, but you don't see them stricken with poverty the way African widows do. Why? Because of financial planning, because of financial literacy and the foundation that are put in place ahead of time. But we live day by day. What can we do so that we can set up our future generation, the next generation, on a successful standing? It starts now. It starts today. For some of us, it's a little bit late, but nothing is ever too late. But I'm asking all of you to ponder on this question. What will happen to your family if you were to not work today? If you were to get sick, or worse, will your family be provided for? For the women of my brothers and sisters, I need you to think hard, and I need you to sit down with your husband or your significant other and convince them. Because I know our culture we dismiss a lot of things that we can't see applicable right now, especially if it is something that has to do with when I'm gone. But with love and respect, I encourage you to sit down with your husband and review your finances. If you don't have financial literacy or your financial planning set up already, I know some of you are smart enough. We are all smart enough, but there are things that we cannot do alone. There are things that require specialization. Somebody who have gone and did a specialized studies and licensing in that area. We all have gone to colleges, so no one is here to teach other better than the other, but we all have our own areas of specialization. I love this community. I have contributed to this community in many ways, but this one particular area I have failed in, financial literacy. I believe with my heart that it's not too late for us to catch up now so that we can pass on to our children a better financial foundation instead of passing debts to them. We can also turn around and educate our children and set them up for success if we open our hearts to learn. I know we're busy. Many working wives don't have time for anything. If you can trust the financial literacy mentors who have now come forward, our community have at least 7 now who are trained. They actually have a national license in the United States, and they can also provide the same services in Canada. And I believe in Australia they have them too. All I'm asking is sit down and reflect. Have the following things if you don't have them already. Okay? Look at your emergency funds. Look at it. How much do you have? Do you have enough that could last you 6 months? If the paycheck was to stop today, do you have enough? Also, if you have debts, are you paying only minimum payment? Do you know how to manage your debts in a way that they don't become a chain on your neck that is draining your income for life? Also, assets accumulation and asset acquisition. Do you know how to acquire an asset? And do you know the assets that you can afford now within your meager income? And the fourth one is investment, long-term investment. How many of you are involved in investing $10 here, $20 there that may grow over time? And the fifth one, which is important, is proper protection or family legacy. How many of you have life insurance? Is this something that you've considered? Is this something that you feel like you cannot afford it? It sounds good, but you cannot afford it. But then ask yourself this question that is written there. What happens if you were not to stop working, if you were not to bring home today? An Ethiopian man asked me, Daniel, what would happen to your family if you die today? I was stopped back for that question. The death is something that we don't like to talk about as Africans, in particular as Dinka people. But I thought very hard and I told him, if I were to die today, it would be very difficult for my family. But I have life insurance. Okay? Fortunately for me, in the line of work that I do is an immediate thing that you have you are given. You can decline it, but when you decline it, your family is notified. So you don't have a choice. But a long time ago, I realized that if something were to happen to me, I want my family to be protected. I want my family to be provided for. I don't want people going around and pass the hat so that my body can be buried. So on top of my military life insurance, I went outside and got another life insurance that is a little bit more. Because let me tell you, the amount of life insurance that you can get varies, okay? But if you get, let's say you get $100,000 life insurance, or even 150. That money may sound a lot, but after burial and services, majority of it will finish in the first year. And by the second year, your family is struggling. So we recommend that as a family, a husband and wife, you should get at least a total of 500,000. Maybe the husband get 300,000 worth of life insurance and the wife get 250. You can afford that, especially if you're young. But if you wait until your income can afford it, your age is going, especially for the lost boys. And you may not be able to afford it later on. Okay? If you are at the age of 40 and up, you are inching, you're getting closer there. But if you are above 45, your premium will be a little bit more. Okay? There are different types of life insurance. There is a term life insurance, which is very cheap. You can get $1 million or $500,000 for very little. Okay? But the thing with term life insurance is pure protection. There is no cash value to it. There's no long-term investment. But you can also get a whole life insurance, which has different varieties, including what is known as index universal life insurance. These ones are vehicles, financial vehicles that the white people and other smart Americans use to save money. Okay, over time it becomes your own saving. So I'm encouraging you to look into these things, and that is what we're here for. The badge I'm wearing here is a financial advisory campaign. Right now, across America, by 2030, there's a campaign that is going on for financial literacy to inform all immigrant communities. Okay, there is a movement out there. We, the Sudanese, are the ones who are not in it, but the Ethiopians, the West Africans, the Asians are all in this. Even the Mexican or Latinos communities. I was in Dallas a week ago where they had a big conference, and I could see a lot of people from all these communities. They're working on turning financial capacities around in their own communities. Ethiopians have over 300 financial literacy advisors, okay? But our community have, I think maybe now we have 7 across the United States, and nobody's listening to us. When we talk, people think that we're here to ask for your money. We're here to maybe get rich through you, but that's not the case. I have a network of community where I can go out there and recruit people, ask them to get insurance through me, and then I get a commission. But that's all about it. I'm not after money. I have a job. I am after the fact that our community need protection. Our people work hard, but we're missing an element that make people successful, an element of financial education. Because it's not about how much you make, it's how much you keep. Okay? It doesn't matter if you make 100,000 a year or even $500,000 a year. If you can't keep it, if you cannot keep at least 25% of that or more, you have nothing, my friends. Take it from someone who have worked for 30 years in North America. Okay? What I'm here to talk to you about, I did not know. I did not take time to apply. Yes, we go to college and we learn these little things, anecdotal learning from one class, one financial class to another, but we don't ever stop to apply them. Some of you are fortunate enough to not have a lot of responsibilities, yes. Some of you have 2 incomes where a husband and a wife are working together, but that reality would be tested in the event that one of you cannot work anymore. And very quickly it will come down crumbling. Some of you may have few savings, but imagine taking that saving. Let's say you have $50,000 in saving account. Do you know what the bank is doing with that money? They're taking your money and they are investing it in high performing ventures, and then they come back and give you pennies. If you were to take that same money and you do what is called payout life insurance, whole life insurance, right? Which you can pay. Let's say you take a $500,000 policy, and you take that 50,000 and you put it toward that policy, and then you program it where you pay annually, right? You pay them every tax season. You make your yearly premium. You will save money. You will have an investment that is going for you, an investment vehicle that is also a protection for you. Okay? That is a smart way of building wealth while protecting your future and the future of your family. Okay? I know internet is flooded with all of these things. We can Google it. Okay? You can read about it. But how many of us takes time to really apply these things? I'm also appealing to young people in my community, the generation from the age of 18 to age of 35 who are now in the workforce. Okay, many of you will think that you are too young. You don't need these things. Some of you don't even have families yet, but this is actually the right time. If you start your life insurance today, you can start as small as $250,000 whole life insurance, and you may be paying $25 a month, which you can pay off every year when you get your taxes and you pay it off. And then come next year, you pay it off. By the time you turn 45, you would have a saving net worth that is bigger than you can imagine. And you would not have to go to the bank to borrow. You can borrow against your policy because you have cash value in it. Okay? These are the things that we're missing. We go to work, we make money, we sleep, we go to work, we make money. And then this money, as we receive it, is going out this hand. Okay? We may have savings, but the moment that emergency comes, that saving is gone. Okay? That's why you need to have a structures, financial foundation structures. Okay? You need to have emergency funds that is dedicated for emergencies. You need to have a debt management account, even if you don't have debt. Make that account and throw in $20 here. If you have debt, make sure you sit down and you plan properly so you just don't pay minimum payment, because that minimum payment you pay goes straight to interest and nothing more. And the principal that you owe them remains year in, year out. And by the time you look back, it has been 5 years and nothing has reduced from the principal. So how do you go against that? You can pay a little bit more, even $50 more in the middle before your next statement is cut. That little money will go toward your principal. Okay? If you can manage, pay a little bit more. Okay? They have different types of financial payment where you can pay a little bit more. Okay? You can pay the one with high interest, snowballing, and then just go down. Okay? Or other plan where you pay the smaller one first. Okay? So this is the question that I have for you. What will happen to your family when you can't provide no more? Think about that question. Okay? All right. So this is Hope and Destiny Financial Literacy. This is a non-for-profit program that I'm putting together. And my plan is to find a way to fund myself. I don't know how, but I know God will provide. And I want to be able to go to each state, each city, and sit down with two families, in one family or few families, and share with you ways on how we can tackle this financial ignorance. Because we don't know. I didn't know all these years that I've been in America. I didn't know how to separate emergency funds, how to attack my debts, and how to acquire assets and manage them. Okay, many of us don't have assets. We have a house, but that house, is it really an asset or a liability? It depends. Okay, so this is financial literacy. They talk about emergency funds, debt management, cash flow management, asset accumulation, proper protection. What is cash flow management? That is where you sit down and look at your paycheck, how much comes in, And where does it go? If there are subscription, if there are unnecessary expenses, how do you nip those things? How do you close those things? That is the cash flow management. Okay. Can you get a second job? Can you go do Uber so you can have an extra that is coming in if there is a gap? Okay. Can you turn off this? Maybe reduce your monthly cable subscription. Maybe you don't need it. Or maybe you don't need that expensive latte that you buy every day. You can make your own coffee. Or maybe you don't have to go eat out every week. Maybe you can cook. There are ways that you can reduce your finances. So these are the things that we look at it and we run away. We say, oh, I know these things. But do you really? Knowing it here and not applying it in your practical life is different. Okay. So you can start with $1,000 for emergency funds, 3 to 6 month expenses, something that can cover your rent, can cover your food and your transportation for those 6 months. Okay. And you can add more to it and you can extend it to 6 to 12 months to a year. Okay. If nothing bad happened, thank God, but keep on adding to it. Okay. And you can keep them in a saving or a short-term CDs. Okay. Like a short-term certificates of deposit. Don't put them on the long term. Okay. And avoid those accounts that have a volatility where you can lose your money. These are for access that you can access if you need it overnight within 24 hours. So you need to put them where you can use them. Okay. You need to understand debt management. You have what they call good debt, which is mortgage and education, but bad debt, which is credit cards and payday loans, especially payday loans and credit cards too. There are high interest credit cards that chain you and you become a slave for the rest of your life. Okay. So you need to understand these things, educate yourself. Okay. And snowball, as I talked earlier, is you pay small balance first, and then as you graduate, you pay off everything. And then they have the names for these things, where you pay high interest rate first, avalanche, and hybrid, where you pay small and then the big one. Make sure you attack your debt, okay? But the best way, if you don't have debt, avoid them at all, okay? And then talk about cash flow management. What is it, okay? There is a positive cash flow builds wealth, and then do you know the rules of 50, 30, 20 rule? These are the rules that white people apply and other well-informed citizens of this country, they apply to cover, to manage their finances in a way that will serve them over a long time, okay? You cover your needs by the 50% of your income, and then you put your wants. What are your wants? Okay, you need to identify those, and then you put 20% towards saving and debt payment, right? If you have debt, make sure you pay them first, because if you're saving and you have debt, it's futile. Okay, so pay off your debts, but have emergency funds instead. Okay, when your needs are covered and you little wants like haircuts and other stuff. Okay, and then you have a technology now that can help you. There are tools there. There are apps that you can put on your phone that will help you track your finances, And what is an asset? Anything that add money to you. Okay, if you have a vehicle that you use to go drive Uber or deliver food as an extra income, that is an asset. Okay, if you have a rental property, that is an asset. All of you know these things. Okay. So wealth building a strategy, you need to invest early. And that's where I was talking to young people, learn how to invest and be consistent. Okay. And learn about the power of compound interest and make sure you diversify. We know in the Bible, it says, don't put your eggs into one basket, right? That simple wisdom apply every day. Okay. And learn about dollar cost averaging. Okay. So this is, and then we talk about proper protection, financial stability for family. Then that goes back to the question that we're asking. What happened to your family if you were to die today? Okay. And how do you prevent losses from wiping out your progress? Okay. These are the things that you need to sit down and think about and be honest about yourself. If you don't understand, talk to somebody. There are many people who know, but you don't know where to start, and you just put it off. That's where you pick up the phone and call me. Call a little pipe. Call my Maharajak. Call Agad. Call Agad. Call Matua Dora Lier. Call Atanya Jagationg Ajak, and call Quilong Madid Quilong. These are the people that I know, and there are many others. I'm sure in my community there are people who get skills but cannot announce it openly because we don't support each other as a community. And then for families, for parents with children, how many of you know about 529 planning? Okay, it's a tax advantage. It's a tax advantage program that is there. You can put money toward it for your child from the zero month old, to the age of 18, a child that is going to college. You put money into that account, the government match it. You save, especially if it is deducted before taxes, okay? It reduces your tax liability by a lot, okay? And you can put much toward it every year. Just read about it and you'll be able to utilize it and save money. And by the time your child turns 18, instead of buying that child a car, instead of giving them a fancy gift, you can give them this account, okay? You can also open a life insurance for your child at a very early age and just put 10,000 on it, or maybe 15,000, and pay $15 a month on it. And by the time that child turns 19 or 21, you hand that over to them and they expand it. Now this child has a financial foundation to start from. They're not starting from zero. That is the difference between our children, the children of the poor and the children of rich. And the rich are not people with money, but people with knowledge, who apply that knowledge for their daily living and progress. So my people, I am not here to waste your time. I'm not here to just talk nonsense. These are very critical things. But I know that if I was talking about politics, if I was here to insult someone, people would appreciate it more and people will enjoy it more. But now that I'm talking about boring stuff, people are just like, So these are the life insurance essentials. The term life is very cheap, but it come in handy. Okay, you can get $1 million or $500,000 for a very small amount that you can manage every month. Okay, but if was to come, for me, I have a whole life insurance. And I also have a term life insurance. Both, if I were to die today, both accounts will come to my family the same, no taxes, okay? And that money, you have to have an instruction on how it will be spent. Otherwise, an informed spouse would have spent that money, with relatives would have spent that money within 90 days and they're broke. But if you structure it in your will, in a way that will provide your family protection for a long time, it will last them longer. Okay, so those are the things that you need to consider financially, and those are the things that I will continue to talk to you about. So I didn't come here to just make noise. I came here to talk to you about what matters. Okay, and I know you think you know. I thought I knew too for the last 30 years, but there's little I know. Okay, for example, all this time I had term life insurance, which I've had for over 15 years. Had I known what I know now, I would have acquired a lesser face value of a whole life insurance, which would have grown now to a larger saving. But I didn't know. The same to you now. But at least now you have somebody making noise at your backyard. If you take time to listen to us, you'll be better off than me, because then I didn't have anybody from my community telling me anything. Okay, and there's a lot that I didn't know. So make sure you have will and you have trust. Make sure your beneficiaries are on your financial account if something were to happen to you. Make sure you have power of attorney, because you may get sick and you're not able to communicate anything. And if your spouse does not have a power of attorney, or someone that you know in our community, a relative or somebody that you trust, that person, nobody will be able to access your finances or anything, and nobody will be able to speak on your behalf. And what happened if you are no more? Your things will go to the state, and that is usually very difficult to manage. So these are the things that I wanted to share with you today, and I'll continue to talk to you about these things. Okay, so the final slide is about the financial roadmap. So these are the 5 things that I talked to you earlier. To recap: emergency funds, eliminate high interest debt. If you don't have debt, make sure you have a debt account and put in the little money there, just so that it comes. If a holiday season comes and you want to buy something, you don't have to use your credit card. You can use the money on your debt account to buy that thing with cash, so that you don't have to incur debts. Okay, but if you have debts, make sure you pay your debts. Manage your cash flow. Okay, accumulate assets. Make sure you have an asset if it is all possible within your means. Okay, but make sure you pay off your debts first, and then make sure you have protection. Have a life insurance that will protect your family. All right. So these are the things that I wanted to talk to you. Be consistent and have a plan. Small step equal big progress. Okay. You control your financial story. Your future is in your hands. Okay. So I'm just here to talk to you. If you don't talk to me, I'm not offended, because I am clearing my conscience. I'm talking to you with what I have come to know, what I didn't know, what nobody has provided for me. And it's up to you to take it. This information will be available on my YouTube channel, and it will be there on Facebook channel. It's up to you. And again, I'm appealing to the wives of my brothers and sisters in North America. Sit down with your husbands, okay? Convince them. You as a wife, you also have what is known by law as insurability interest. Okay, you can pay for example, if I am saying no, we cannot afford insurance right now, but you as a wife, you know it's something that is needed. You can actually open a life insurance in my name and pay for it if you have an income, and then let me pay other bills that I am deeming as more important. Okay, because at the end of the day, you're protecting your children, your family, in case I go down as your husband. This is the same perspective that I want you to apply. Sit down with your husband. Don't go behind his back and convince him how important this is. Okay? Because many of you are young and you will live longer past us. I also pray that we'll live long enough. Okay? But only God knows how long we're going to live. So let us have a plan in case we don't live that long. But if we live that long and you have a whole life insurance, you'll be building a financial bank for your own family, which you will enjoy through your retirement. So it's not a bad thing one way or the other. Okay? Anyways, my heart keep bothering me because of what I know now. And that's why I keep coming to you, and I'll keep coming to you until somebody listen. If you are interested in talking about more, reach out to me. Okay? You can reach out to those people that I mentioned. I can help you apply for life insurance. Okay, I can help walk you through how to set up your cash flow, your emergency funds. I can work through and review your cash flow with you and be able to review your finances. But I know our pride. Nobody wants to admit that you don't know what you're doing. I have the same problem. We all do. But if you don't know, you don't know. We don't have to know everything. Okay, we don't know everything. So that's my time. I'm up with my time. I don't want to talk a lot. I don't want to bore you, but I'm here to invite you. If you are interested, please call one of us. Okay, we'll help you get the right. We'll not just give you something that we know you cannot afford. We will work with you and go over your finances in details, and then say, hey, dang, this is the financial vehicle that your family is going to need as a life insurance. This is where you would think you need to move your things around. This is the amount of cash flow you can afford every month until you are able to add more. We will not just burden you And that is the beauty of having your own community, people who understand certain things. If our community have doctors and nurses and lawyers, and these people are not applying their skills within the community, it is not our skills. But if we turn around and provide a strength to our community, we're building capacity. But it also incumbent upon you as a community members to empower us. Because if you don't use our service, we will just go outside and work with other people who will appreciate the skill that we have, and it will benefit them. But our community people will still suffer the way we have been suffering, and the next generation will come and pick up where we left. Poverty after poverty, and we need to put an end to that. So thank you for listening, and thank you for those who are going to listen later. Okay, I came here to talk to you with one question. What will happen to you if you cannot work anymore? If you were to die today or get disabled? Do you know that you can protect your family? Do you know that there is a disability insurance that in the event that you can't work anymore, you get sick or get hurt? There's also an income protection insurance where if you lose your job and you have that insurance in place, that insurance will continue to pay you until you are able to get another job. Okay? There is a life insurance that will provide for your family in the event that you can't anymore. And these things happen for those who want to see to the future, those who want to protect the legacy. But if you don't care, you don't care. May you guys have a blessed evening. God bless you. You can call me. My phone number for those who would come to the end here is 254-291-0975. My email is daniel.go@gmail.com. That is DANIEL.GEU@gmail.com. If you're interested, you can talk to me and I'll help you. May God bless us.